Today we have an exciting new person for you, so I'll just go right ahead and introduce Adedayo. Hi Adedayo, thank you so much for joining us. So before we start, I just want to get a little bit about yourself and a bit about your life. So could you start off by telling us what's your background?
My background, I'm from Nigeria originally, and then I came here to Australia to study. So I've been studying for a while now, since 2011. So I graduated as an engineer last year on the 18th of December.
Engineering?
Yeah.
Wow, awesome. So outside of studies, what are your hobbies?
Aside my study, actually, I'm the kind of person that I love hunting applicable knowledge, because knowledge is the fuel for destiny, and then I love acquiring information, so tangible information, because the same way what a fuel is to a vehicle, that's what information is to a vision. So without information, your vision cannot be in motion. So yeah, so I always study, I learn.
So you've been on a search for knowledge for a while now. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
My favorite books say that follow those who through patience and faith that have now obtained and are now inheriting the promises. So that's what I do. I look for someone that has actually done something that is quite interesting, and then they have the basis and also tangible information to back up what they have done. Yep. So I'm not just after a person that is just writing stuff or just saying stuff. So I want to see what you've done. If your faith doesn't have a result, then your faith is useless, it's empty. Then it's not a real faith, so it's fake. So I want to see the result that you have achieved. So your result then would then let me understand that, you know what, this person understands better than I do. Then I have to put myself under this person to learn what they've done. Then that way I can improve myself.
Absolutely. So seeing as we've seen a bit of your background, can I just ask you what interested you into becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah, that is a very interesting question. So I would say, from back home, I used to live with my grandmom. I've lived with my grandmom since when I was 9 months old. So yeah, so I never had the opportunity to live with my parents. And then my grandmom died in 2003 when I was about 16 years old. So since then, life has always been difficult, because even when my grandma was still alive, I used to hawk, sell stuff on the street just to make a living for ourselves and for her and for my sisters. But I've always said, is this what life is all? Is this what life is all about? Then I just thought, you know what? There must be more. If there is more, then I will do everything in my capacity, in my capability, and in my capacity to achieve those things. To let people know that, you know what, there is more. If there is more, then I want to attain that much more.
Absolutely.
So these are part of the things that actually sort of like triggered the entrepreneurial spirit from within me.
Absolutely. So before we get to the product, have you before tried to produce something before this?
Yeah, I would say there was a time in 2013. Okay, of course, back in Africa, I used to repair mobile phones before I came to Australia. So, but in 2013 through 2014, I made some tablets. Okay. So the tablet PC, they were powered by Android. So I called them BYB tablets, and they were pretty okay. They were pretty awesome, and I loved it. But down the line, I just thought, you know what? So Apple, Samsung are already doing phenomenal job. So it's either you beat them. If you can beat them, forget about it and walk away from this. Yeah. Even though our tablets were very, very excellent, they were very, very great. I can assure you that. But I just thought, you know what? If you can do as much as Apple is doing, then you have to walk away from this thing. So then I put that project aside. And then I just said, you know what, I'm going to revisit this. I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to do more about the tablet making. Then down the line, we also developed a taxi booking application that is called Transit Connect. Yep. So which was launched in Africa, in Nigeria. So that was those were other two ventures that I've got involved in.
So using the same spirit and the same power, and do new and different product.
Yeah.
So is the taxi app still working back up?
Yeah, it's still working, but it was a little bit difficult for me back in 2015. I was a little bit challenged because uni was getting involved, and at the same time I was also trying to build iKON tracker. Yeah. So there was just too much on my plate, and I just couldn't handle it. And because I'm a self-sponsored student, so I sponsored myself for my study. Yeah. So I had to make money, I have to find money, and you know, education is very, very expensive in Australia, where you pay close to $30,000 per year.
Yeah.
So then these were just too difficult for me to handle. So that was why I just set aside the taxi booking application project for a little bit. Then I continued to work on my studies. Then this year, that was when I then revisited the iKON Tracker project.
So congratulations on your efforts. You've come a long way. So first, getting into the product now, guys. How did you get this idea? So we've spoken about trying to produce a product as good as Apple and as good as Android. But how did this specific idea come about?
Yeah. Okay. I will still revisit a little bit Africa. In Nigeria, you have close to 180 million people in population. It's quite interesting that an average of 100 people get kidnapped in Nigeria per day.
Yeah.
So that's daily. So now in 2014, where this issue came up about the Boko Haram that kidnapped the 276 girls, the bring back our girls. So that was where the idea popped up. And I was also looking into Australia. There was this news about the Ellen McCann, a small girl that was kidnapped here in Australia. And then you've seen a lot of news, bad news, about kidnap here in Australia. So the thought arises, I just thought, like, what if one of these children had a tracker on them? So the question from iKON was that, so what if one of these girls, one of these guys that was kidnapped had a tracking device, had an iKON tracker on them? So would they have been found? Would it have been so much more easier for the government to get these people back? So that was what that actually triggered the idea of creating iKON Tracker. So iKON Tracker was bettered out of a predicament. So that was how the idea came up. So, and then I started drafting.
That's a really amazing way of using tragedy to form some sort of inspiration, and I think that's awesome. So briefly, just explain the iKON Tracker for us.
Yeah, iKON Tracker as it is. So I would say that it's the most advanced tracking device ever of its kind, because when you look at it, it's got all the attributes and all the functionalities that you can ever think of. So as it is, so it's got the tracking. So so all you have to do is to activate the device and then sync it with your with the mobile with the iKON application, which is free. It's free for download
so you
on Apple Store.
Download the application and then.
So you download the application from the Apple Store or Google Play Store. Then you can then sync your phone with the device. So very easy. And that way, then you can then attach or slick in the device into any of your belongings. For example, you can attach it to your car keys, to your house key, and then maybe put one into your wallet or to your purse or to your bag, because it's as tiny and then it's as a size of a 50-cent coin. So if you put it into your wallet now, or it's now attached to your keys, so if you lose your wallet or you lose your key, so instead of you looking everywhere searching for your keys, so now all you have to do is just pop out your phone, then click on the application, then just do search or find. Then easily you'll be able to know exactly where that device is or that item is. So and it's powered by Bluetooth technology, so which means that it can actually work in a remote area. So it doesn't need internet facility, it doesn't need Wi-Fi, it doesn't need internet data. So it works remotely anywhere.
And what about battery? What kind of power does it have?
Yeah, it comes with a lithium battery that is replaceable, which lasts up to 6 months. So which is for 6 months. And also the application also have a battery meter that shows you the lifespan of the battery, then you know when to replace it. So
just looking at the product, there's no on or off button on it, so it's just like this. Yeah,
it's got, so that's why you see from these as the devices, this camera icon, so that's where the button is. So that's the button, so it's actually that's the activation button. So because I clicked it twice now, it's finding my phone. So because this right as also, in the same way you can use your phone to find your keys or your wallet, you can also use the device as well to find your phone. So
it can work both ways.
Yeah, it's worked both ways, so two-way communication. So if I click this button in the middle twice, my phone will ring, because I'm actually trying to use the device to find my phone. So you see, my phone is ringing.
That's really creative.
And then you can also use the device as well to take a selfie, because phones are getting bigger nowadays, where if you want to take a selfie now, you need to use your two hands. And then, You want to take groupie, you have to use somebody else. Someone have to hold the phone, and the other person have to use their hand to click. So, but that iKON tracker has come as a hit for that. You don't need to anymore. All you just have to do is like put your phone at any distance, and then with the iKON tracker, all you just have to do is just to click the device once, and then you take a picture from your phone.
So can you tell us a little bit about the shape and just the size of it? So why did you specifically choose this design?
Yeah, this design, I just wanted it to be very tiny, and then to be very easy to carry around, and then to maybe to attach or slick into any of your belongings or your items. So for example, the wallets. So wallets, you don't want your wallet to be very big, or you want it to be still very tiny or slim. So that's why we made it that way. So it's 35 millimeter by 35 millimeter. So that's the length and the breadth. So the thickness is 5 millimeter. So it's very, very tiny, and then it's easier to carry around as well. So that was the reason why we stick with the device, with the size or the dimension being very, very small.
Yeah. So it's an awesome idea, I think. So we found out about your journey here. We found out about the product. Now, throughout your journey to becoming an entrepreneur, starting this whole project and getting it to where it is now, what kind of support did you have? Financial, any sort of family support at all?
Yeah, of course. I want you to understand the iKON tracker. So that's the company called iKON Tracker Limited. So it's not an organization.
Yeah.
So I would say, for the sake of how can I put that? So just for the sake of structure, so we can't say it's an organization. It's more than that.
Yeah.
So iKON Tracker is actually a company that only pays. The strength of the iKON Tracker is actually the strength of partnership.
Okay.
So it has to do with people coming together.
Yeah.
So there is no one man can do anything. A one-man's strength can never be equal to four men's strength. So as you can see, life is in phases, and men are in sizes. So that's why we've been able to come together. So iKON Tracker was built on family. It's built on unity. It was built, so that's the essence of it. So because it's only when two come together that they have more reward for their labor. Because shame to him that walks alone, because when he falls, he will have no one else to help him up. Yeah. So that's the strength of iKON Tracker as a whole. And my favorite book also said that because these people, they have come together, there will be nothing impossible for them to achieve. So iKON Tracker has been able to get this far because of the family, because of friends, because of people that are willing, that see the potential of the product, of the company, and then they see the future. They say, you know what, man, we want to come with you. We want to be able to work together with you. So that's what I would say. So this is not a one-man job. It's not a one-man company. It's not a one-man idea. It's an idea that has been given to us. We are privileged to have received the idea, and then we allow other people to bring in their own resources. So putting all these resources together, then we'll be able to form a one agenda, a one goal. So,
and I think it's amazing that you have that awesome sort of support and support base. So just to switch up to marketing now, how are you promoting this product, and where can we see it?
Yeah, for now, the product is fully ready. It's completed, so it's now 100% functional. So what we want to do right now is that we want to be able to create a little bit of a demand for the supply.
Yeah.
So, but as you said, okay, so you said, what sort of support have we received financially? So what we've done is that we and all the group that we have in the iKON Tracker, so everybody puts as little money that they can put together. So that's what we have used to fabricate the product and the idea to get it this far. So now what we want to do right now is to be able to launch the product in May, in the first week of May, and then through Kickstarter. So what Kickstarter does is that it's a crowdfunding platform. So where people actually pre-order the product, then we manufacture the product to them and ship it and send it to them within a month to 2 month period. So that's how we are looking forward to launch and then to get the product into the market. So what we're doing right now is that maybe from the first week of April, we'll be launching our pre-launch landing page, the website, where people can actually get to know more about the products, and they can actually watch a little bit about the product introductory video. They can see how the product functions, and then the usage of it, and how it can actually be used for their day-to-day activities. Yeah. So in short word, the product will be launched on crowdfunding. So that's why people need to get onto our website and then book a place there. So because we have a newsletter there that says, okay, when can I get one? So what you have to do all they have to do is for them to give us their email address, so we can contact them when we launch, so that they can be able to get the product at a very, very discounted price, maybe for about $25 or $20.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so going back to the product again, so we see what it looks like now, and this is only just the starter, I suppose, for it. So what sort of expansions, or is there going to be any new idea coming with this product?
Yeah, I like that question. So I'm a kind of person that I love evolving. So I always evolve. So I'm always constantly evolving. So, and then that's one of those things where my team, like I wouldn't say my team, our team, the iKON Tracker team, they've been stretched, because this generation doesn't want to pay the price, but everybody wants the result. So you must be willing to pay the price. So because height is a function of depth, how far you want to go or how high you want your building to go, that's how deep your foundation must go. So the good thing is that I'm a civil engineer, so I studied civil engineering, so I understand I actually fully understand the fundamental or the principle behind foundation. So your foundation must be thick. So that's why it has to do with how much sacrifices or how much are you willing to pay for the thing that you want to achieve. So in the future, as we've said, we've got so much in mind, and we've got so much that we're already working on, but I don't like talking. I like progress.
Put it out there for us.
Yes, I just want the people to actually be able to see the result of what we've got. So we don't talk, we show it.
Okay, so I guess we're going to have to stick around and find out.
Yeah, we demonstrate.
Okay, so right now is the product, once it's launched, will the product be only available in Queensland, or is it going to be throughout all of Australia?
It's going to be available worldwide.
Oh, wow.
Because the good news is that we have partnered with the shipping company in China.
Okay.
So because the product is designed here in Australia, it was developed here in Australia, then we then send the prototype and then the master hardware to China for us to then to do the mass production of it. So then from there, if the product are then now mass produced in China, so instead of the Chinese company to ship them or to send them to us here in Australia, where we then dispatch it to the individual customers. So we've now partnered with a company in China that they can actually send this individual product to the individual customer worldwide. So which is so much more easier for us, and that way we can actually be able to get the product into the hand of everybody worldwide in a very swift or in a very short time.
I really admire your passion about this. I admire your drive for this, and I think you put a lot of thoughts into all of this before you're actually launching the product. So that's really good note to take. So do you want to just repeat those important dates for us, like the launch dates and when it will be available?
Yeah. So from the first week of April, so you need to book your place to be one of those people that will be getting the discounted iKON tracker. Mm-hmm. So because the prices are between $20 to 40 Australian dollars. So because we are giving out different discounts and then these different releases prices. So then so from the first week of April, that's when our pre-launch landing page will be up, where people can actually be able to watch our teaser video. They can see what it entails and how it functions, etc. And they can actually be able to read more about our story, what actually intrigued the idea, and then how the idea was fabricated, and then some other functionalities of the device. Because, for example, the device also, which I didn't actually mention before, it's got a separation alert, which we call the geofencing. So what that does is that if you stick this device into your wallet or into your bag or something like that, so and you are somewhere, maybe in a cafeteria, then you have now finished eating, then maybe you are rushing out, you are dashing out. As soon as you leave your wallet or your bag behind, you will receive an alert from your phone, letting you know that you've left your belonging behind. Yeah. And then it's the same thing as well, maybe for those people that have got toddlers. So if you have a little child and you can put one of these into his pockets. So maybe you're on the beach or you are in the amusement park just chilling, and maybe you are reading a novel. As soon as that child walks away too far from you, then you will receive an alert from your phone as well, letting you know that, you know what, Jimmy, your child, is now walking away too far from you. Then, so that's where we come in like a prevention is better than cure. Yeah. So you can actually prevent the cause of the evil before it actually happens. Yeah. So that's where iKON also comes in. So these are all these functionalities that will be on our website that people can then be able to read and then go through. They can actually see what iKON is all about. So that's the website will be live from the first week of April, which is next week.
Yeah.
And then also, so the crowdfunding will be launched from the first week of May as well. That's when the people can actually be able to get the product and then order the products. That's where it then kickstarts. So we will also be having a launch party as well, which is going to be coming up on the dates that we'll be launching the products, which might be on the 1st of May. So I'm not confirming that yet. So I just say it might be. So, but the launch is going to be in the first week of May. Okay. So it might be 1st, it might be 6th, it might be 7th, yeah. But it might be 1st of May. So then we're going to invite a lot of people. They can actually come in and see what iKON is all about, and then they can help us cut the ribbon.
Thank you so much, Adedayo. So just to close the lid, any messages you want to put out there for, just youth who have an awesome idea like this, but maybe they have some sort of self-doubt, or they see maybe the future is too far. Do you have any sort of advice for them?
Yeah, what I would say is that you have to understand that you must be willing to pay the price. You cannot but pay the price, because without you willing to pay the price, you can actually get the result that you want to get. So, and also, people also say that you just have to believe in yourself, and that is true. But the question is that when you are believing in yourself, what else are you believing in? What are the principles and the fundamentals that are guiding you? So who is leading you? Who are you following? And who is following you? Some people will say, God is, I'm following God. The question is that is God following you? All the celebrities that are on the internet, maybe for example, Jesse, you are following Jesse. The question is he following you back? Does he know about you? So that's my question. So does your mentor that you are following, does he know about you? So you just have to be able to study and do your research well. You have to do your homework. When you've done your homework, nothing can stand between you and that idea that you want to achieve. And of course, most importantly, you have to trust in God. So that's the main thing. Because without God, you cannot achieve the unachievable. Some people will say to me, this is professionalism, this is business. Don't bring God into this. Don't bring spiritualism into this. I want you to understand that man is a spirit. Man is not a physical body that you are saying. So I don't have a spirit. I have a body, because my body is not me. The main me is the spirit that lives within this body. So my body is not me. I own this body. So I want you to understand that, for example, I'll give this very two example. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, there was a time he was having issue with Apple. He didn't know what to do anymore. What did he do? He went to India. He went there and he had to go and he went into a temple. That was he consulted the spiritual part, where he had to go and meditate in this temple for several months. That was when he came back to America. Then he had a breakthrough with Apple. So then you are now telling don't bring spiritualism into business world. And then the same thing with Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg had issues with his business. He doesn't know what to do with Facebook anymore, and he couldn't go further. Then he went to Steve Jobs to ask him, what can I do with Facebook? I don't even know what to do anymore. We are stuck now. Should we sell it, or what do we do? Steve Jobs told him, go to India and go to the temple and go and meditate. So Mark Zuckerberg went to India. He meditated for months. Then he came back. Then he had a breakthrough with Facebook. So that's why I don't understand where you are saying that don't bring spiritualism into business, because the lesser is included in the greater. The physical is included in the supernatural, and then the natural is also included in the supernatural. So the physical is included in the spiritual. So that's why I would say that it's very, very important you know what you're doing and how you want to get there. What are the principles that are backing you? Who said what? Who said it? Who is leading you? So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Adedayo. Thank you. It was a pleasure having you here, guys. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode on Entrepreneurs of Africa. Stay tuned for our next